Good morning, team. How are we keeping? Funny story. I went to record this yesterday, and I did record it. I recorded in its entirety, but realized I was just recording my face and not the screen, and that wouldn't be much good help. So here we are for take 2. All right. So in this video, I want to explain how we can optimize your Google My Business. Google My Business is essentially just a listing that Google allows you to list a local business. You have to be a local business. Now you can list a national or even an e-commerce store if you wish, but it's just not as effective. All right. So I want to show you and share with you why this is important in the first place. All right. So let's just give you a brief overview of what actually it is. So I'm in Christchurch, so I've keyed in the search term first aid training course Christchurch. All right, just to go through a couple of these, what pop up for your information. So these guys here, they're going to show up very first. These are ads. These are paid promotions using Google AdWords, and these are good as well. But you only leapfrog everybody in the organic search if you pay. So you got to pay to play. These are good because you're obviously getting top searches, but it's bad because once you stop paying for that link, paying for that click, your leads dry up. So there's no longevity in it, but it's really good to use these as well. But we're not talking about this. Here is the section where we're speaking about. This is what we call your Google My Business, or your local listing, or local SEO, or map SEO. And these are showing people that are in my local area. So obviously our office is based in Christchurch City Centre, and this is why it's showing people close to my proximity. So just to go down a little bit further, these guys here, this is what we call organic search. Now, the difference between organic and local is, well, one of them, local, comes up first. So that's why, that's a win for local. The only thing with local is you have to be in that local vicinity. So Google or my search is dependent on where my IP is, basically where I'm searching from. So if I searched, if I was searching from a different location, the local businesses might not show up as much. All right. So let's kind of give you a better example, I suppose. So over here in this little map, as you can see, so Sumner down here, Sumner is a nice coastal town. If I was to search a marketing company or a web company or whatever it is, generally speaking, marketing companies and web companies will come up in this vicinity. They may not show up in Parapi Nui. So basically, it's depending on where you are searching from as well. So you don't get as much searches. Whereas if you come down here to first aid training, it doesn't matter where you're searching from. You could be searching from the surface of the moon. And if you type in first aid training course Christchurch, you're going to get this search, as long as there's no, historical data and based on personalized searches. So it's better to be here because you're going to get a better search volume. All right. But it still makes sense to optimize this local business. And it's very easy for you to do it. This sort of stuff, sometimes it's easier just to hire someone because it can get complicated, especially the offsite stuff. But here we can do it ourselves. In an ideal world, guys, you would cover all bases. So you'd be doing Google Ads, you'd be doing local SEO, and you'd be doing organic. And what would that mean? The chances of you getting clicked on increases by 3, which is significant. So let's go in and find out how we can optimize these local searches. Well, first of all, we just want to actually set one up. So sometimes what you will find is these will actually be set up already. And then what you need to go in there is just claim your business. You claim your business by basically saying you're an owner, putting your hand up, and then they will send you a little postcard with a code that you type in, and that will confirm or verify your listing. Now, people always ask me, Garrett, does this mean that I have to, showcase where my premises, my place of work is? Sometimes you might be a sole contractor, and you don't want your home address, broadcasted on the internet, and that's fair enough. So yes, you can use just a suburb or the vicinity. You can do that, but you need to give a specific address to get that verification code. So once that comes, it takes a couple of weeks. You can be verified, and I'll show you what that means if you come over here. So as you can see here, for some reason, there's 2 of these guys' accounts, and this one is not verified, obviously because it's duplicate. And this again is a duplicate. But if you're verified, you're going to come up here and show as verified. So let's come back here. Then you want to do is just complete every section of your Google My Business. When you sign up for one, you will just be go through all the information. You want to be meticulous with this. You want to have all your information consistent throughout. Okay, so you want to have your phone number. You want to have your address, your website links. You want to have your opening hours. You want to have your different categories. You want to have photos. You want to have the whole shebang. All right. You need to go in there and make sure you're adding in every single thing. All right. So this is an example of an unoptimized versus an optimized profile. As you can see here, all this information is added in. Which do you think is more captivating? Which do you think people will actually click on? Yes, you can guarantee that they will go in here. So take R1, for instance. This is our agency. And see, as you can see, so we're just FYI, these guys are doing what we call brand hijacking. So they're using my brand for and using it for Google Ads. Totally legal. Anybody can do it. We don't really mind so much. These guys we're actually web experts, Webflow experts. And it's funny that they do that because we are supposed to be friends. But anyways, you get the idea. So here is our for our agency essentially. And you can see we have, so Google really likes when you have images of, like if you've got an outside of your premises, it's a really good one. If you've got images of inside your premises, images of your logo, perhaps images of your team, just images of yourself or any bit of your business to show that you're an actual legitimate business. You obviously want to, these are what we call attributes. So you just state whether you are accepting appointments. You want to add in your address. You want to add in your opening hours. Your phone number, appointments. You get the idea. So if you've just got questions, it has your reviews here. Other reviews from online, it pulls that data. So from Facebook or Clutch. And then what's your linked social profile. So you want to, you want to jazz this up quite a bit. All right, so this is the bare minimum. What I find works really well as well is if you go here in your Google My Business. So let's go behind the door. So these are not, where's my head is in the way. So these, I can't show you these ones. Let me go to the next page. So where are we? I can show you this one. Boom. So this is us. So you can go in here in the back end, and this is where you will answer any of you'll have to see some of your information. So in the last 28 days, we had 1.45K views. And here you can do your posts. So in here you can read posts. Here's where you add your images. You add your product, service, websites. You want to do this, you can add some users in here. You can reply to reviews. So when someone sends you a review, you want to always reply to them, all right? But up here, you can create some posts. So like any of your other strategies, you want to add in posts here. We are not as frequently posting as we should do, but you should definitely put that into your social media calendar and just repurpose some of the content you already have and add that in. You want to add some of your images. What I found a very good trick to do is you put in, so you go over here, grab any one of your images and go over here and type in, you just type in geotag. And what you can do, essentially, what geotagging means, every image or every file has some metadata. Metadata is just data that's below the surface that every file has. Something like, the size of it, when it was created, what type of file it is, where it was created. So what you can do is you can input your image here, and it will geotag your image, and it'll show Google when it crawls your profile that you're in that vicinity. Hence, you will get boost preference in your search. All right, because what happens is, like, you've got your top 3 here, but below the surface as well, there's quite a few more. So the objective is to get you up to the top, and you do that by this optimization thing. that I mentioned here. Reviews is a massive aspect of it. Sometimes it can, some people might have less reviews. Like these guys have got 300 reviews. These guys have got one, but yet they're the first one. But they might be, they have, first of all, 10 years in the business, so they're quite a long time. But they might have pimped out all your profile. They might be doing posts. They might be doing some backlinks. They might be doing listings. So what you can do as well is a technique called NAFs. So it's name, address, phone numbers. Or NAP, sorry. And you basically get that information. You go around to all these local directories and you submit that information. And you make sure it's the same. You don't want to have any digits wrong or, corrupts the data. So yeah, make sure that all that information is done and submitted to these free, often local listings that you will get. And this will definitely help as well. If anyone asks questions, you make sure to answer any of those questions. You want to make sure that you've set up messages so people can direct messages. This is a new feature for Google. And when a platform, Facebook, Instagram, Google, wherever it is, when they release a new feature, they always want you to use it. So people that use these new features, really good for Instagram especially, they want you to use these features. They will give you extra exposure or prioritize your listing over others. And when you do this, so just bear that in mind. And just go in there, make sure you set up your categories, your subcategories, what you're under, like training and so on and so forth. Post on a regular basis, maybe bi-monthly, once a week, once a month, whenever you can. Basically, whenever you're sending a Facebook post, you can just go in there and add it in at the same time. There's actually tools. We have one actually, come to think about it. Basically, it's a scheduler. So you just connect all these, your social media, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, Instagram, and Google My Business, and you just post or schedule a post, and it will load it up at whatever time you have. It will load it up and schedule it for you. So you only have to do one post, and it goes up to 3 different platforms. And again, this really helps your search ranking in every aspect, not just your Google, not just local, but your organic, because Google has seen that you're a consistent brand. You're posting here, you've got your website linked to all these different social media platforms. You're writing blog posts. They know because they're crawling your website. They crawl your website on week 1. It's got a certain amount of content, and all of a sudden 2 weeks later they crawl again, and you've got additional content. That shows Google that you care that enough that you are updating the content. Therefore, they will help you rise in the rankings. So hopefully that was beneficial for you guys. Hopefully it was digestible. Definitely go in and try optimize your listing. It's one of the easier ones to try rank for. These ones are quite hard, depending on the competition in your local vicinity. But get out there, and if you have any questions, just reach out. Cheers.